Hello and welcome to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya Challenge for Zero. 16 teams of innovators, the finest young minds from across the country, trying to solve problems that affect us in daily life. That's right. It's about you and me. It's about us. And that's what these guys are trying to do. They're also trying to impress our judges to make sure that they can walk away with the big prizes. That's right. There's a gift check of rupees 10 lakhs and of course that money can't buy experience, an all expense paid trip to DuPont headquarters in the United States. So there's plenty to fight for here, not just pride. Let's talk to the pride of our show, our judges of course, the finest minds from science and management. They're going to quiz our contestants, they're going to grill them over a slow fire, slowly. Nah, I'm kidding. They're very nice. Let's meet them. Our first judge is the Regional Technology Director of Asia Pacific, DuPont, Dr. Homi Bidwar. Hi, Homi. How are you?
I am great. Thank you.
We also have the CMD of Karma Venture Services, Ms. Nandini Bhandaru.
Hi.
And we also have the founder and CEO of Milagro Business and Knowledge Solutions, Mr. Rajiv Karwal. Let's have a round of applause for our judges, please. It's a tough job. This job is made tough by these fine young minds. It really is made tough by them. We've had some fantastic innovations and ideas that we've seen so far on the show, and hopefully we'll see two more cracking ones today. Are they cracking ideas or will they be cracking under pressure? Let's meet our first team to find out. Our first team comprises Nandini Bhandaru from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, and Siddharth Bajpai from the Indian School of Business, Mohali. Please welcome them on the show. Nandini, Siddharth, how are you?
Very good. Yes.
Nandini, are you hoping that your namesake takes it a little easy on you today?
Not really, but it's glad to see another Nandini as a judge.
I'm glad you said not really because she won't.
Yes, I know.
It wouldn't matter if you shared both names
Yes.
with her, she still won't take it easy on you. But right now it's time to see the innovation that they're talking about. Don't be scared. Relax. Let's have a look.
The most important problem that entire world is facing today is energy crisis. We all know that solar energy is the only solution for this crisis. But even now we don't find houses with solar cells. The main problem is they are extremely costly. My innovation is termed as ultra low cost tunable nanoscale patterns. That is, we can create nanoscale to sub-micron scale structures on any polymeric film or surface. This innovation is basically a generic platform for fabrication of nanoscale structures on any kind of material. Nanoscale structures improve properties of many surfaces and hence they find many applications. For water membrane filtration, if we want to filter water, the main problem is fouling of the membrane. We have to change the membrane again and again. But if we can create nanoscale structures on this membrane, these structures will avoid any kind of fouling on the membrane, and it will increase the flux through the membrane and increase the lifetime of the membrane. My innovation is focused on creating nanoscale structures on polymeric films, and this group of techniques is termed as soft lithography. The drawback of soft lithography is it depends on a basic master or a stamp which will be used to create the structures. Now this master has to be fabricated by some high-end instruments, and this entire thing makes the process costly. We came up with these two techniques with which if you have one single stamp, you can create n number of structures as per your demand without buying any new stamp and by using simple physics of the polymeric systems. We simply spin coat a polymeric film, we imprint it and we cure it in an oven and we get the stamps. Now what we do to shrink or expand these surfaces is we pre-cure the substrate, we play with the viscoelasticity. In that way this technique combines the concept of rheology and soft lithography.
Siddharth, you have 90 seconds now to basically give us your pitch, the business plan of how you're going to take this great work that Nandini's done and make it a commercially viable proposition. Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Yes? All right, buddy, your 90 seconds start now.
So electricity deficit affects all the socio-economic concerns in our country today. A child cannot study in the dark, health centers cannot operate when there is no power, and small-scale entrepreneurship cannot take off if the basic conveniences are not present. With Nandini's technique of producing nanoscale patterns, which we are able to apply to solar cells, specifically organic solar cells, we are able to dramatically improve the efficiency of this type of solar cell and make it technically viable for production. And it is a much cheaper solar cell to produce. So we are in fact able to produce, given these techniques, the solar cells directly from a laboratory. So we don't need to set up a manufacturing facility, and we can have self-sustaining production from a laboratory that turns a profit within a couple of years. We plan to market this product to two segments. One are low-income households, typically in rural areas, and the other are medium-income households who do not have regular access to electricity, or rather intermittent access to electricity. And we plan to price it at about 60,000 rupees to the rural households and about $1 lakh per kilowatt to urban households.
Good job. Quickest pitch we've seen so far on the show. He still had 20 seconds left on the clock. Now, does that mean he has superb clarity and communication of thought? Or does it mean he didn't have enough to say? Our judges will probe and find out. Homi, over to you.
Nandini, great concept. I think you have a lot of ability to customize and tailor these structures. So what made you get into think about it as an application for solar cell?
This is not new actually. People have been trying to incorporate structures in the form of colloids or nanoparticles on surfaces because they show interesting properties related to light like diffraction or structural colors. Only problem in case of applying it to solar cells was fabrication was expensive. So if we add these structures to solar cell, in turn their efficiency increases, but at the same time cost also increases. With this cheap technique to fabricate nanoscale structures, we can get higher efficiency without any investment at all.
What is the efficiencies you're getting without these nanostructures in the
Typical solar cells, organic solar cells have efficiencies around 3 to 5%, and we can actually double them with incorporation of this.
So you have actual experimentation and proof to show that you can double the efficiency of an organic.
Yes, it definitely increases with incorporation of these nanostructures.
So where is the nanostructure in the solar cell actually happen?
It can actually go at 3 different locations. It can be as the substrate on which we develop the solar cell. It can be in the active material, that is the polymer blend that forms the solar cell, or on the top surface. All 3 combined, they provide different capabilities, but they enhance the overall power of the cell.
Your challenge is going to be what application is best suited for your technique.
Yes.
And I think you have to think about that very carefully. Solar cells may be one, but I think there are many others.
Yes, there are many.
Nandini. Do you know what your name means? It means somebody who gives happiness to others.
Yes.
She's hoping you do that.
No, my quarrel with you is at 60,000 to 80,000 bucks. You aren't spreading happiness, really. Both of you have only spoken about the solar cell industry. Do you know the health of the solar cell industry today?
It's not well, I understand that.
Then what's the point piggybacking on an industry whose health itself is suspect at this point in time?
The problem is the prices. The problem is that these are very expensive installations, and especially where the demand is highest, it's difficult to reach that market given the cost.
So you can't fix that. It's their problem, right? So you can't fix that.
For the existing varieties of solar cells, yes. But for organic solar cells, we are orders cheaper. Even at 60,000, which is it seems like a large sum of money, it is still maybe a third, maybe a fourth of the price of the cheapest installation per kilowatt.
I have a serious quarrel with arguments like this. I'll tell you why. In today's context, price has to be driven by how much the customer is willing to pay for it. Not that your solution is cheaper than what he paid for in the past. That's a very, very decade-old kind of a pricing model, okay? So seriously, what both of you need to work on is, at this price point, even if you have the most fantastic Nobel Prize winning product, you aren't going to get customers from the market segment that you talked about. Okay? There is a mismatch and an illogic there. So I think you guys need to go back to the drawing board on this and see what best you can come up with.
Whose idea was it originally? Was it yours or was it your mentor's idea?
I would say it's a combined idea. I was working on a project for my master's which was related to super hydrophobicity, and I wanted to create structures of different levels of wettability. But purchasing a stamp to create these structures was in millions of dollars, and it was not so easily accessible from India. So we started thinking, because we work in thin film instability, so how we can use it to create structures as per our demand.
And are you looking at it as a project or are you looking at it as a business?
As a business.
As a business, okay.
Well, going to get our judges busy now because they're going to mark our contestants, their project in 5 parameters: disruption, relevance, reach and commercial viability. There's use of science, of course, and then the Shunya proposition. So our first innovation presented, of course, is Nano Energy. I'm going to ask our judges how they mark them. Are the points nano or points that will energize?
So
200, of course, is the target that you're chasing to be on the
Yeah.
leaderboard in second position. So
overall, you have got 16 out of 25, which means 64 out of 100.
Pretty similar from my side, but it's 60.
60
on 100.
Okay, 60 on 100. So that's 124. Oh, it's all up to you now.
And mine is 60 as well. I scored you high on the science. I think there is good science here. I think you have to exploit that. And I scored you lowest on the commercial viability because I think that's where you have to do the most work.
Okay, well, so you end up with 184 points. So let's give them a round of applause. 184. That's the target that the team that will present second has to win today's episode. But of course, they want to go above 200 and get on that leaderboard and in serious contention for that grand finale. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the second innovation presented on our show. This is DuPont Presents Power of Shunya, Challenge for Zero. Keep tuned. Thank you. Welcome back. You're watching DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Challenge for Zero. We've heard the ideas, the innovative ideas of one team. It's now time to bring out our second. That's right, the competition is going to heat up a little bit right now. I promise you that. Please welcome our second team, comprising of Ravi Arun from the Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, Durgapur, and Ankur Singh from ISB, Hyderabad. Ravi and Ankur, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so they're here to present the micro paper fuel cell. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. So before we get our judges in and before you give us your pitch, let's have a look at what they're talking about.
My innovation is based on paper pencil based self-pumping and self-breathing fuel cell. With this paper pencil, you can fabricate your own fuel cell, which can be a power source of disposable kits, just like your pregnancy kits or malaria diagnosis and many other diagnostic kits where we are using battery. This fuel can be a other alternative source. This filter paper has a 11 micron pore size, so the fluid can automatically drive through the surface of that paper. Whatever fuel cell research I was earlier doing, you need to use syringe pump. So that syringe pump and PDFS based microchannel that we can now replace and use this paper as an alternative source. And also if we come across pencil, so pencil is a very good electrode. We are fabricating this paper pencil device in a more inexpensive and user-friendly way. So it's achieving the Shunya from the initial side or the fabrication side or the development of the device side. And when we come to the final side where it has lot of applications from the energy to the healthcare to microsensors and so many applications. In the next 5 years, we are planning to first we will optimize this device for various applications. Just like this single cell right now, it's giving us roughly around 350 millivolts. So we can have a series of these cells, because fuel cell has a limitation that you have to bring it in series or parallel. So there we will optimize it in the coming years. And also in the coming years, we are exploring the applications for healthcare and energy microsensor development. And also we can use graphene over this surface, since pencil is also a graphene. So we can synthesize graphene and we can enhance the performance of the device to a much higher level, and so that we can target devices or the systems out of the range of micron size. So that is our plan in the next 5 years.
Good job, Ravi. That was good to hear. Now, Ankur, it's up to you. You get 90 seconds to impress our judges with your pitch. Tell us about the viability of this project and where you see it going. So, 90 seconds. You ready?
Yeah.
Your time starts now.
Yeah. Based on his product, we have identified two broad market segments. One is the energy sector, and the second is the point of care for healthcare centers. In the energy sector, we have identified few areas where we need microsensing devices. We understand that the future technology would depend on low power devices. Now, checking those low power devices, testing those devices under current lab circumstances is very costly. So we need a completely new lot of devices for that, and we can use microfuel cell for that. And second being the oil exploration. Companies are investing a lot for exploring oil and gas. And basically, the principle on which paper-based fuel cell work, we can use it for that particular application. When it comes to point of care for healthcare applications, we understand that there are malaria test kits, tuberculosis test kit, and sugar test kits. These cost hundreds of rupees, and people in the rural areas cannot afford it. So we have developed this device which can actually give as effective result, but at 1/10 of the price. And second being the alcohol detection. We know that 70% of the accidents happening in the country are due to alcohol. So with this product, we can detect
10 seconds.
We can detect alcohol. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Well, Ankur has finished his pitch. Ravi, of course, told us about his product, and now it's up to our judges to probe them.
Ravi, what is the cell voltage that you get?
Cell potential of this single fuel cell is roughly around 0.4 volt, and also we can scale up this single fuel cells in series or parallel depending on what we require. So we can enhance the performance of this fuel cell anytime we need it.
So what is the maximum you can get by series or parallel construction?
Maximum, if you connect 6 cells we are connecting, and we are getting something around 1.8 volt. So if you connect 10 cells, you will definitely get more than 3 volts.
Okay. And what kind of power do you get?
Power, we get it around, for a single cell, it's around 32 milliwatt per centimeter square. So if we connect 10 cells in series, so it will be around something around 320 milliwatt per centimeter square.
Question to Ankur. Imagine for a moment, I'm Warren Buffett. I know it's hard to imagine because I'm so much more better looking, but for a moment, imagine I'm Warren Buffett. We meet in the elevator. You've got 30 seconds. You know I have a check with me, and that check could make a lot of difference to you. Of all the sectors you all talked about where you have a product application, which is that one sector you would choose where you can show me why it is worth my while investing in your company because your customer is that segment, and in 3 years, what kind of revenues could we possibly look at?
It would be healthcare sector. Last year, 1 lakh people were suffering from malaria, and 40,000 of them died because they did not have access to basic medication. So we want to place our product at the primary healthcare centers in the villages where people cannot afford to go to a hospital or a costly test kits. So that will be the area I'll focus on. From the money point of view, our product costs just 50 rupees. But if we consider that there are 6 lakh villages, and of them, say 10% of them suffer from malaria every year, that comes around 60,000. So 60,000 into 50 rupees, it's 30 lakhs a year.
And who would pay for it? The patient would pay for it?
Yeah, because I believe that we don't have alternatives. If we go to a hospital, they would charge 400 rupees for a test. But since we are making them available, a simple kit that would cost not more than 50 rupees. So I think they will be able to afford because we don't have other options.
Okay, what is the fuel which you are using in this?
In this fuel, paper pencil based fuel cell, we are using formic acid as a fuel, but we have also explored salt water as a fuel as well.
Which produces more electricity? Or,
Power wise, formic acid is better,
Okay.
and salt water is a alternative solution if your application or your requirements needs that you don't want liquid fuel, then you can dry the salt water, and then once you wet it with a simple water, so it will be start working. So in the dry form also we can deliver this product to the
so
people.
once you pack the acid and the cell in an enclosure, what is the life of the cell?
Life of the cell is quite long, means as long as paper survives, your device survives.
So what is that as long as paper survives? What is that definition in terms of number of weeks, days? Is there an expiry date?
A number of days, it will cross around 100 days, it will definitely survive.
100 days.
Yes.
And any temperature at which it can perform better, not better? Is it inflammable?
No, it is not inflammable. It will be better performing at room temperature. That's how we are designed. That most of the devices should work on room temperature, so that everything is comfortable and everybody should be comfortable.
No, because if you are talking about healthcare, right? So, and if it is one-time disposable usage, it can be a malaria test, it can be a diabetes test. I don't know, what are the possibilities, but you can use it. But it requires a certain storage. It requires a certain durability. It also should be disposable in a safe manner. So all those aspects really need to be taken care of, and also from this idea stage to commercialization, probably you will have to pass through certain regulatory hurdles. Have you looked at those also already?
So that we are looking for that, because since we are doing biological experiments over these surfaces, so we have to pass through many ethical committees, and then we are performing our experiment.
Well, our judges are done marking. Now, just for the two of you, for your reference, 184 is what the previous team got, so that's what you need to beat to be this episode's winners. But if you want to get on that leaderboard and make a real play for the grand finale, then it's got to be above 200. Judges, what say you?
I've had a look at all our scorecards.
You've totaled it already?
Yes.
So you know what we don't?
Yes, absolutely.
Suspense.
Be nice to me, I might.
Please tell us,
announce
Nandini,
it.
please.
For the first ever time, I think all of us have marked exactly the same, 68 on 100.
Which takes you to 204. That means you are now joined with Smart Cane on top of our leaderboard. Well done, guys. That's a big one. No prize for guessing. Our judges are very impressed. We have two teams now on top of the leaderboard. Smart Cane and now you guys. But good news is you are also the episode's winners today. So if Ravi and Uncle, both of you could just step here. Homie, if I could request you to please come up and give their prizes. The two of them get tablets, one each. So congratulations. And of course, chance to be in the grand finale. Well, our judges were supposed to barbecue our contestants in this episode. At the end of this barbecue, I can say it's all well done, isn't it? And that also is very rare. We'll see you on this fabulous medium called television next week on DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Challenge for Zero. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.